The yearly Mitchell clan gathering was buzzing at Uncle Richard's lavish Hamptons manor. The familiar crowd lounged by the infinity pool, flutes of champagne in hand, trading boasts like they were collecting trophies. "That's how I clinch, partner," my cousin Daniel declared to a chorus of approving hums, tweaking his flashy wristwatch. Youngest ever at the firm. I lingered quietly in my spot, sipping sparkling water, dressed in understated linen trousers and a crisp white shirt that likely cost more than Daniel's car. No one would guess, though. The charm of subtle wealth is its lack of fanfare. "Sarah, dear," Aunt Pamela's voice rang out across the water. "Share your big news from Goldman." My sister, her designer dress gleaming in the late-day sun, shrugged modestly. "Oh, it's no big deal. Just made managing director. Youngest woman in their Asia division." More nods of approval. More champagne poured. More fleeting glances my way. Then Uncle Richard's gaze landed on me, his tone laced with that usual blend of pity and superiority. "Still searching for your path, Elena?" The chatter hushed. 30 pairs of eyes swiveled toward me, waiting for the black sheep's reply. The one who hadn't made it yet. "Something like that," I said, glancing at my phone. 4:58 p.m. Almost time. "You know," Mom piped up, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. "Anderson Consulting is always hiring sharp young talent. Sarah could pull some strings." "I'm fine, thanks," I replied, hiding a smirk behind my glass. "Elena, sweetheart," Aunt Pamela leaned in, her pearl necklace swaying. "You're 30. Isn't it time to get serious? Find a proper career." Sarah nodded knowingly. "My division has a starter program. Ideal for someone your age just getting going." I checked my phone again. 4:59 p.m. The Bloomberg app sat ready. Success. Uncle Richard launched into his usual sermon, comes from drive. Take this estate, for instance. $20 million worth of ambition. 22, his wife corrected, scanning her kingdom. After the new wing. Speaking of real estate, Cousin Michael chimed in. "My hedge fund just sealed a $1 billion deal in Singapore. Prime property portfolio. Very elite." 5 p.m. My phone vibrated. "That's impressive, Michael," I said, standing. "Which properties?" He blinked, caught off guard. "The Marina Bay Complex. Most prestigious address in Southeast Asia." He hesitated, too courteous to finish his thought. "Curious," I said, strolling to the outdoor TV where CNBC hummed softly. "East or West Tower?" "Both, actually," he said, chest puffing. "The entire complex." I tapped my phone. The screen switched to Bloomberg News. "Breaking news," the anchor declared. "The elusive CEO of Atlas Technologies has been unmasked. Elena Mitchell, 30, is the mastermind behind the $86 billion tech empire." Sarah's champagne flute slipped, splashing into the pool. Sources confirm Mitchell, who's operated in secrecy for 7 years, oversees a vast empire spanning real estate, tech, and renewable energy. Her net worth, $12.4 billion. Uncle Richard's success lecture fizzled. "That's impossible," Daniel stammered. "Elena doesn't even have a real job." The TV flashed my official portrait, snapped last week in my penthouse office. Mitchell's Atlas Technologies holds stakes in major tech firms and vast real estate assets across Asia, including Singapore's entire Marina Bay district. Michael's face drained of color. "The Marina Bay Complex. I own the company that just acquired your hedge fund." I smiled. "The paperwork should be landing on your desk now." My phone buzzed again. Mom's bracelet suddenly seemed tiny. Sarah's managing director title felt junior. Uncle Richard's $22 million estate looked quaint. "But you're always at cafes," Aunt Pamela whispered, "in those plain clothes." I touched my simple white shirt. "It's from my private fashion line. This shirt alone costs more than Daniel's partner buy-in." The TV pressed on. Under Mitchell's leadership, Atlas Technologies has transformed quantum computing and AI integration, with a market cap surpassing the GDP of several nations. 7 years, Sarah managed to say. "While you all tallied titles and bonuses," I said, opening my portfolio app, "I was tracking billions and continents." The family clustered around the TV, watching their carefully built pecking order collapse live. My face filled the screen again, paired with charts of Atlas Technologies' global reach. That gap year in Singapore. I said, savoring their stunned looks. I was establishing our Asian headquarters. Those dead-end coding gigs you ridiculed? My cover while I built our quantum AI system. Uncle Richard slumped into a poolside chair. 12.4 billion, he muttered. That's outdated, I said, glancing at my notifications. Bloomberg's behind. We hit 13 billion this morning. Helicopter blades thrummed in the distance. Right on cue. That's my ride, I said, gathering my things. Board meeting in Singapore. Oh, and Michael, about that real estate deal you bragged about, the chopper crested the trees, my company's logo gleaming on its side, the sunlight hitting it just right, casting shadows over the pool where my family stood frozen. Wait, Sarah's voice barely carried over the noise. You can't just drop this and leave. I turned, taking in the scene I'd waited 7 years to witness. Spilled champagne in the pool. Shocked faces. Mom's suddenly modest jewelry glinting in the fading light. Actually, I can, I said, smiling as notifications flooded my phone. But since the board can wait 10 minutes, let's talk success, shall we? The helicopter landed on Uncle Richard's pristine lawn, its downdraft rippling the pool. My security team emerged from unmarked cars along the driveway. 7 years, Daniel muttered, still glued to the TV. All those times we invited you to networking events, I was probably busy buying the venues, I finished. That elite club you're so proud of joining? I own the building. The golf course where Uncle Richard seals his deals. Atlas acquired it last year. Mom stepped forward, her bracelet sparkling. Elena, darling, why didn't you tell us? Tell you. I laughed, the sound echoing across the quiet yard. Like when I tried to share my first patent and you cut me off to boast about Sarah's bonus. Or when I mentioned our quantum breakthrough and Aunt Pamela suggested temp work. The TV droned on. Atlas Technologies' quantum AI system secretly powers global financial institutions. Mitchell's personal tech patents are valued at over $8 billion. $8 billion in patents, Uncle Richard whispered, his $22 million estate suddenly feeling small. I pulled out my tablet, projecting a holographic map of Atlas Technologies' global holdings. Red dots marking properties across every continent. See that cluster in Singapore, Michael? I zoomed in on Marina Bay. Your hedge fund didn't close $1 billion deal. You were part of my deal. I own that entire district. Michael's tailored suit seemed to sag. The merger paperwork is just the start, I said. Atlas is absorbing your fund. You might want to polish your resume. We have high standards for middle management. Sarah stepped up, her business instincts kicking in. Elena, surely we can talk family synergy. Goldman would love to, I raised an eyebrow. Check your phone, sis. They're probably calling about the Atlas account, their biggest client in Asia. Sarah's phone buzzed. Her face paled as she read the message. That's right, I said. Your little sister is the mystery client your bosses have been chasing for 3 years. How's that for entry level? The Bloomberg broadcast shifted to footage of my company's towering headquarters, making Uncle Richard's estate look like a cottage. Last Christmas, I turned to Aunt Pamela. When you said I needed to grow up and get a real job, I was finalizing the acquisition of your husband's company. He just doesn't know yet. Uncle Richard choked on his champagne. Pamela's husband's company, that's a Fortune 500. Was a Fortune 500, I corrected, checking my watch. The announcement goes public tomorrow. Atlas now controls the top 5 companies in that sector. Mom sank into a chair, her composure crumbling. Those cafes you work from, I said, are part of my global chain. That coffee shop you saw me at last month? The building's worth more than this entire estate. The helicopter pilot's voice crackled in my earpiece. Ms. Mitchell, Singapore awaits. Time to go, I said, heading for the chopper. Oh, and Uncle Richard, about that new wing you're so proud of? Atlas just acquired the company holding your mortgage. Check the new terms. Premium properties demand premium payments. My security team cleared a path through my stunned relatives. Next year's reunion, I called over my shoulder, is at my Singapore penthouse. Dress appropriately, if you can afford it. The look on their faces as I boarded the helicopter was worth every dismissive comment, every patronizing suggestion, every missed chance to see what I was building. As we lifted off, I glimpsed them gathered around the pool, their achievements shrinking below. The chopper climbed, but I pressed the intercom. Hold position, James. Through the tinted windows, I watched them scramble. Uncle Richard checking his phone, likely seeing mortgage alerts. Sarah on a call, probably with Goldman bosses demanding answers. I activated the external speakers. One more thing. They froze, faces tilted up. Check your portfolios. Phones buzzed. Notifications pinged. Faces paled. Atlas doesn't just own buildings, I said, savoring the moment. We hold controlling interest in most of your investments. Those secure stocks you love? I've been buying them for years. Daniel's wristwatch suddenly seemed heavy. My broker, he started, works for a firm I acquired last month. I finished, projecting financial data onto Uncle Richard's house, glowing in the dusk. Let's play a game. Anyone here who doesn't technically work for me, raise your hand. No hands rose. The silence was exquisite. Your law firm, Daniel? Atlas is the majority shareholder. Your hospital board, Aunt Pamela? We own the healthcare network. That elite banking division, Sarah? Check who bought controlling interest last quarter. Mom stepped forward, voice trembling. Elena, please. We're family. Family. I pulled up a projection. Every dismissive email, mocking text, and condescending holiday card from the past 7 years. Elena needs a real job. Some of us work for a living. When will you stop playing with computers? Why you sent these, I said. I was building an empire. That computer game you mocked, Mom? It's worth more than the entire Mitchell family legacy. The Bloomberg broadcast continued. Mitchell's quantum AI system has transformed global finance. Banks pay billions for access. Those banks include yours, I added. Every transaction, every investment, every dollar you spend runs through my system. Sarah's phone buzzed again. Goldman, she whispered, staring at the screen. Tell them I said hi, I smiled. They're busy with the Atlas account. We're moving it to a sharper team. Her face drained as she grasped the implications. Your Christmas bonus, I said, is what my company earns in 8 seconds. Uncle Richard stepped forward, voice hoarse. There must be a way we can work together, like family. I projected documents, the startup funding he refused, the business plan he called childish. That childish plan is worth more than your net worth times 1,000. The chopper searchlight swept the yard, lighting their stunned faces. Don't worry, I said. You'll get invites to the Atlas Gala. Very exclusive. 10 million per table. Aunt Pamela clutched her pearls. If you can afford it, I shrugged. With the new terms on your mortgages and investments, start saving now. Mom tried again. Elena, sweetheart, surely we can talk. We are talking, I cut in. This is the most you've cared about my career in 7 years. Funny how 13 billion shifts perspectives. The sun dipped, casting shadows over Uncle Richard's lawn. My security team stood ready as the mighty Mitchells realized they were essentially my staff. Singapore board meeting in 3 hours, I said, checking my watch. We're discussing new acquisitions. Maybe I'll buy a few more of your companies. Sarah called out, her confidence gone. What do you want from us? I laughed, the sound ringing across the manicured grounds. From you? Nothing. You've already given me 7 years of motivation to prove you wrong. The helicopter rose, their designer clothes looking shabby, their luxury watches like trinkets, their proud achievements mere lines on my balance sheet. Next reunion's in Singapore, I called down. First-class tickets provided, if your corporate travel accounts still qualify. As we banked toward the city, I took one last look at the Mitchell estate. They stood frozen by the pool, their reflections wavering in the water. Please subscribe to my channel for more exciting stories and updates.